Hey, it's David Breslow back here with you. I am the founder of Performance Success Strategies and author of Wired to Win. I want to welcome you to this latest edition of Dose with Dave. Today, I would like to talk to you about something really important in terms of your personal development. I call it living in the subtraction method. Here's what I mean. Over the years, I have looked at and researched many different personal development programs and some online programs, some live coaching programs, and so on and so forth. I've also been a customer of coaches at times in my life, not only for myself, but I wanted to see what other people were doing and what other people were teaching. And obviously, all of this helped me come up with my own particular model, which I call Wired to Win, which is highly unique in terms of the world of personal development or life coaching, as people would say. Not my favorite term, because I consider what I'm doing a lot more than that. We're talking about empowerment coaching, really. And if you've looked at any of my other Dose of Dave videos, you've heard me use that phrase before. I'm very interested and focused on self-empowerment because, in my opinion, that's where it's at. But here's the traditional approach. If you've done any kind of life coaching or other kind of coaching from other helping professionals in that area, you may be an athlete, or maybe you've done leadership coaching or business coaching, if that's your arena and focus of interest. But the majority of the programs are based on adding on information for you. Basically, this information is being added on in the forms of insights or tips or strategies or coping mechanisms and things like that. This is very common, of course. This seems to be the socially accepted standard and way to go. Here's my problem with that. What is missing there is that every one of us has a history. Every one of us has what I call circle one, and I'll talk about that in another video. What I call circle one, which is made up of everything you know up until this moment in time. All of your history, all of your experiences, all of your doubts, your beliefs, your limiting thoughts, your fears, your hesitations, all that stuff is loaded up in circle one. And yet, what people are doing and what many of the models are doing is adding on more things to you when you come in. And you're getting more insights, more information, more tips, more strategies, more things to do, more things to think about. And yet, remember this, all of those things are being added into circle one, where all of your limitations and hesitations and obstacles are. I use the rancid milk analogy to describe this. Let's say you go to your refrigerator later today and you have a carton of milk in there. It's half full. You open up the carton of milk and it really stinks. It's way past the due date. It's rancid. So what do? Do you go to the grocery store and buy another carton of fresh milk and pour half of that fresh milk into the rancid milk, all hoping that it will smell better and taste better? No, you don't do that. You throw out the milk and you go get another carton of new fresh milk, right? Well, guess what? When you're going into that old model of getting more tips and strategies and coping mechanisms, all that stuff, basically you're doing the same thing. You're getting fresh milk in terms of that, in the form of that new information, and that information might be really good, but you're getting fresh milk and you're pouring it into the rancid milk inside your circle one. So that fresh milk doesn't have a chance to get hold on you, and you don't get to take advantage of it. That's why change takes so long for us. That's why it's very sporadic, and it kind of crumples along, it limps along, a little bit of improvement here, a little bit of improvement there, and people accept that. I never did. I never did, which is why I don't teach that stuff. I'm more interested in teaching what I call laws of human performance. They have nothing to do with adding more information or strategies or coping mechanisms or anything like that. But I'm acknowledging your circle one limitations right from the start. In fact, the subtraction method I'm talking about here in this video is about getting rid of all that circle one stuff by not focusing on it, believe it or not, because there's a circle two. Circle 2 is where you want to be. Circle 2 is where all new possibilities exist, and none of the junk or the obstacles or the rancid milk that exists in Circle 1 exists in Circle 2. So why bother hanging out in Circle 1 trying to figure out how to make it better? It simply doesn't work. So the subtraction method is, hey, look, let's not deal with Circle 1. Let's put you right into Circle 2 immediately, and Circle 1 is no longer an issue. And all the obstacles that existed there feel like they're being reduced, 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 reduced. That's what I'm calling the subtraction method. Now, I also work with actors. I'm an acting coach. And what's really fascinating to me is they have the same issues. They go into an acting class, and instead of the acting teacher acknowledging what I call Circle 1 or the rancid milk, well, what they're doing is they're adding new insights, new theories, new acting techniques, new things to consider and think about. And yet the actor is not free, because the goal for the actor is to literally subtract all the obstacles that are getting in their way internally so that they can deliver a free, in the moment performance. That's what every actor wants to do. And yet the general schools of thought are, let's take this actor and add our technique, add our perspective, our point of view about what acting is, and so on and so forth. They're just dumping more information into a rancid milk of the actor. And the actors get frustrated because they're not improving as quickly as they want to. They know there's something better in there, and they're right. But it's the old phrase, if you could get out of your own way, you'd be great. Ever heard that before? Yeah, I sure have. But that's really what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about the getting out of your own way. Getting out of your own way is not hanging out in what's in your way and trying to figure out how to work with it better, because your focus is on what's not working. You get it? It doesn't work. And people get stuck in that in society because society has taught us and trained us, hey, you got to get more information, more coping mechanisms. Well, one of the basic premises and truths of the Wired to Win approach is that more information does not equal more success. A lot of people think it does, but you look at your life experience, you got plenty of information, don't you? We live in an information society. It's easy to get information. If information led to success, more people will be getting what they want, wouldn't they? Clearly, that's not true. More information does not equal more success. So these actors are coming into class, or you're going into a coaching scenario, and you're getting more information, but what's not being acknowledged is Circle 1. Stop putting good milk into the rancid milk. And so as long as you're doing that, that milk still stinks, doesn't it? Maybe it stinks a little bit less, but it still stinks. It's not what you want. You want to be in Circle 2. That's where the freedom is. And for the actors, that's what they want, freedom, so they can deliver an honest, emotionally accurate, and relevant performance. How can you do that when you keep dumping more and more and more in this system? Think of it. Think of it literally like a quart of milk. How can you get more freedom by pouring more stuff into the carton? You can't. You can't, especially if there's already rancid milk in the carton. It's not going to happen. That's why people are frustrated. That's why people take so long to get what they want, and they give up, and it's too slow of a process. And the results are very intermittent. They're very sporadic, and it's very frustrating. So consider what I'm talking about here today. Consider stop pouring good milk. That translates into good information. I'm not saying all the information you get and the tips and the strategies are bad. A lot of them are great, but you're putting good information into rancid milk. So it's not about information. Consider what I mentioned earlier. It's about laws. I'm not getting into that in this particular video, but when you learn the laws of human performance, all of that rancid milk is no longer an issue. You are subtracting it as a byproduct. That's the cool part. You don't have to do anything to subtract it. It's being subtracted as a byproduct of what you're learning. That's the difference. So Dave Breslow, thank you again for hanging out with me for this dose of Dave. Come and visit me at www.davebreslow.com. davebreslow.com. Got a great free training video there for you. The 3 secret strategies that empowered people use to design the life they want that other people only dream about. That's the training video for you. I think you'll really love it. So head on over there and take a listen to it. I think you'll really love it. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Okay? Take care.